Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm doing another coffee talks video. So grab your tea, your coffee, or any beverage of choice and let's get started. So today I want to talk about therapy. I want to open up a conversation because I know this can be a taboo subject and people are either nervous to talk about it, scared to talk about it, don't want to talk about it. So I kind of just want to graze the surface on therapy because it is new to my life, and I kind of want to share a little bit of what I've learned and my experience so far. I hope it'll be helpful for you. Growing up Russian and in a Russian household, I was never really exposed to anything like therapy. It was kind of actually it is a taboo subject. It is something that kind of is viewed, at least in my experience in my family, as something that crazy people go to. I'm not going to speak for all Russians, but in my family, yes. So it was something that people with issues would go and see. And that's kind of how I grew up in that environment. But surprisingly, I will say, I never viewed therapy as something like that, which I'm glad I haven't. And I'm surprised I haven't. I always thought there was more to it. I never knew what it was about, but it seemed from books and movies and people, it always seemed like something positive. So I was always kind of confused of like, well, why are they associating therapy with something being so bad? I was mostly confused, honestly. But I'd never actually known anyone to actually go to therapy. It's something that other people talked about, you know, people, nobody in my life, nobody I personally knew. So, and it never really ever came up until last year, and definitely this year. This year is when I really dove into therapy and really was kind of interested in it. Not only just learning about it, but actually getting some. Honestly, that's what it was. You know, as things went on, especially in this year, I thought about it more and more, and thankfully my job actually offers some free sessions, which I'll be honest, that's the only reason I started it. I can't afford therapy on my own, so I'm very grateful for that. And the fact that I'm able to like dip my toes into it without paying out of pocket is very, very generous of my company to do. So I'm very grateful for that. So I was feeling really just down and bad about myself and my situation and my life and all these things, and I was just feeling very overwhelmed, and I was feeling anxious very often, and I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I was talking to one of my good friends, and she was like, well, I'm seeing a therapist. And I'm like, what? You are? She's like, yeah, like I've been seeing one for a few months now. I see her once a week and la-di-da. And then this is a girl that I look up to, someone that I really admire and respect, and someone that always, in a sense, from the appearance, she has everything together in her life, and you know, she's got everything going for her. So I was like surprised. I'm like, why are you in therapy? How are you in therapy? Like what do you need that for? Like everything seems great in your life. But we don't know what's behind closed doors. We see what people want us to see. We see what people show us. We don't actually know what people are feeling, what they're thinking, what they're going through, what their experience is in their own private lives. And I was very grateful. I was very grateful that she actually shared that little part of her experience with me, because that really, I would say, is what pushed me to actually sign up and go to therapy myself. Because I'm like, okay, well, if she's doing it and she seems like she has everything together, so I shouldn't be ashamed or scared to talk about it or like whatnot. Because, you know, saying, oh, good for you, you're going to therapy is one thing, but actually finding a therapist and signing up and whatever your process is of actually going to it, it's completely different. Let me tell you, I was very nervous, extremely nervous and scared. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I literally had no idea, because based on like what happens in movies is people either sit there and just talk and talk and talk and talk, and then the therapist is like, okay, how do you feel about that? Or vice versa, the person is talking and they're like, okay, well, here's what you're gonna do, blah blah blah. I wanted to just share a couple of things with you about therapy that I've learned in my personal experience, and maybe things that you may go through if you decide to go to therapy. Because I honestly, now that I've gone to multiple sessions, like I've been going for a few months now, I'm like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner, and why isn't everybody doing this? I think anyone and everyone should go to therapy. It is a place where you can completely expose yourself, in a sense. You talk about yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, anything that you're going through in a completely unbiased environment. Your therapist is there to listen to you and just you, and is there to basically hold your hand and help you out. You know, they know nothing about you, which is amazing. Like, you get a stranger just listening to your stories and listening to you talk and listening to your thoughts and feelings, and you get to be emotional and just really have that time for yourself. And the fact that this person knows nothing about you, besides for what you tell them, is, I think, very interesting, because they have absolutely no thoughts or opinions about you whatsoever. So they are there with a completely blank slate, clear, open eyes, mind, heart, body, soul, whatever. They're there for you. And to have that time, even like an hour a week or whatnot, just for yourself, I think is amazing. And I think if you do therapy and you go to therapy, you are going to, just by talking and letting your emotions out, you're gonna start feeling a weight lift off your shoulders. Therapists aren't going to tell you exactly what to do, like A, B, C, and D. They're not gonna do that. They are not going to tell you, okay, well, since you can't choose, I'm gonna choose for you. No. They are there to guide you. They're there to help you. They're there to kind of help you dig deep and have you make your own assessments, have your own realizations, have basically like an aha moment about yourself. If you're going to therapy to, you know, have someone tell you what to do and in a sense tell you how to live your life, you're going to be very disappointed, because that is not what's going to happen. And I will be honest, that's kind of how I thought therapy worked. I thought I was going to sit there and be like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. Like, do I continue with this job or do I go find another one? And then I thought the therapist would be like, well, it seems like you're very unhappy, blah, 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 so yeah, I guess go get one. No, like, she's not going to tell you what to do. You have to make your own decisions at the end of the day. It's your life. What she's there is to kind of help you break things down and help you see from an outside perspective and help you make your own conscious decisions about your life and yourself and your environment and everything that entails. They are there holding the compass, and they're your companion on your journey, but they are not the ones that are going to tell you where to go. That is your job. When you're looking for a therapist, it may take you a try, it may take you a couple of tries, you may not land on the person that you kind of vibe with right away. And also, when you find someone, don't be scared to tell them what you're looking for. Or when you're in the process of looking for one, don't be scared to tell them what you're looking for and what you're seeking out, and see how you guys click. Don't be scared of what to ask for what you need. After a couple of sessions, I was kind of like, hey, I feel like it would be beneficial for me if you kind of ask me more questions, because I like being able to answer something. I don't really like to just like talk and talk and talk. I like it when you give me something to really focus my mind onto, and for something that's going to help me really like pull from my inner being out of me and make me realize things and whatnot. So yeah, I told her that I needed questions, and she was like, okay, cool, great, yeah, I can do that. And ever since then, she's been really good at asking questions and like really kind of trying to get down to the root of things. And I feel like that really helped me out, and that allowed me to find more things out about myself. It made me more vulnerable. I dug deeper than I thought I really ever could or would, with a stranger especially, and it was really, really good. I'm so glad I got enough courage to ask her that, because I was scared. I'll admit, I was scared to ask her that, and I don't know why, but I was. But once I did, and once we really started hitting all that stuff, I was like, this is great. And therapists have their own way of doing things, so like I said before, it may take a couple of tries to find someone you really vibe with, and that's okay. Don't be scared to be like, hey, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out, but thank you, I'm gonna go with someone else. That's it. That's all you have to say. They can't take it personally. They won't take it personally. It's part of their job. So you'll be fine. Make notes after each session. Like, maybe you don't really want to do it during your session. If you can, that's cool too. But at first I wasn't doing any of that, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just keep this in my head. But somehow I remembered it right after, but of course I forgot within the day or two. I was like, what is it that we talked about? I don't remember, blah, blah, blah. And I found it very beneficial for me to start a journal and to just kind of either bullet point or really just write out what we talked about in that session. I find that very helpful because not only do I get those thoughts and feelings and everything out on paper, I can always go back and kind of refresh my mind and reread a couple of things. Maybe there's a couple of points that really stuck out at me during the session that I feel like would really help me, like when I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling, you know, mad or whatever it may be. I can refer back to my notes and find those key points that I wrote out to help me cope in that particular moment. You have to do the work. Now, you decide how much you get to share. No one is forcing you to talk about anything. You talk about whatever you want, and then they're going to be there for you. They're going to listen, they're going to help you, but they are not going to be necessarily pushing you to talk about things or asking you super hard, deep questions without your permission. You know, you kind of give them the permission to do that. And if you don't start and open up a conversation about something deep down, anything that's actually troubling you or anything that's on your mind, they're not going to know how to really help you or how to dig down in there. And also know that it is going to take a little bit of time for you guys to kind of get to know, not really each other, but for the therapist to get to know you. And I know it took some time for me to kind of trust my therapist too. So don't be scared to just dive in at a certain point though, because I know it took me about 10 sessions for me to be like, oh, I've been talking about things kind of superficially, and that's kind of a waste of time, because I want to dig down to the root of my problems, to the root of my issues, and pull it out of there. But really, like, see what it all stems from, because it has to stem from something. All of your thoughts and feelings and your problems and your anxiety and whatever it is stems from a root. And you have to be brave enough and strong enough to dig down deep, and that is going to take work. That is going to be very hard. It's going to be hard, and it's going to take an emotional toll on you, and you have to be brave, and you have to step up to that plate and do it, because let me tell you, once you do, it is going to be so worth it. And you may not even realize it at first. It may take you a couple of months, maybe even a year, or maybe for certain situations or certain things to happen for you to be like, whoa, I would not have reacted like this just a few months ago. You know, it's definitely happened to me. There are certain things that have happened and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's fine, whatever. And even I was like shocked at myself. I was like, wow, Tanya, you're growing up. Good job, good for you. You're improving. Good, good. You want to be open-minded and accept things about yourself that you may not want to. You may have been just pushing that down for a long time and without even really realizing it. You want to be able to kind of look at yourself from the outside perspective, and that is very scary, I know, but if you don't, you will never learn things about yourself. You will never be able to grasp all of that and pull yourself out of that place. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight on therapy and just from my personal experience of what I think is very important about it, and kind of a little bit of what I've learned. And I hope it gives you the courage and the strength to go out and find therapy if you've been wanting to, or maybe start digging your toes into it even if you haven't really thought about it. Maybe there's some things that you've kind of been struggling, or something, maybe it's something that's been in the back of your head for a while but you've been too scared to do it. Maybe start doing a little bit of research. And I just want to give you that push and that encouragement and that support that it is okay to go to therapy. It is more than okay. I think it will really help you and it'll be very beneficial for you. It is a great way to just vent and to lift things off your shoulders, and it's a great safe space for you to learn about yourself and to grow and to become a better person and to make life easier for you, because there are so many things out there that do make it hard. And if you can just scratch something off the list or just like ping it off of you, it will make your life just a tad bit easier. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. I love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.